Medieval doctors thought this could cure the plague, and people trusted it with their lives. In the 1300s, the Black Death swept across Europe, killing millions. Entire cities collapsed. In some places, nearly half the population died in just a few months. No one knew what caused it. There were no microscopes, no understanding of bacteria, and no idea how disease actually spread. Most people believed sickness came from poisoned air. Doctors were terrified too, but they still had to treat the sick. So they created what they believed was protection. They wore long black coats and gloves, and a strange mask shaped like a bird's beak. Inside the beak, they packed flowers, herbs, spices, vinegar, and strong perfumes. They believed bad smells caused disease, so good smells would block it. But here's the truth. The plague had nothing to do with air. It was spread by fleas living on rats. That mask never cured the plague. It only shows how desperate people were to survive. Cleopatra lived closer to the moon landing than the pyramids. That sounds fake, but it's completely real. Most people imagine Cleopatra living in the same time as the pyramids, but she didn't. The Great Pyramids of Giza were built around 2600 BC. Cleopatra ruled Egypt around 30 BC. That means nearly 2,500 years separated Cleopatra from the pyramids. Now here's the crazy part. Cleopatra lived just about 2,000 years before humans landed on the moon in 1969. So Cleopatra was closer in time to astronauts, rockets, and space travel than she was to the building of the pyramids. History feels ancient because we compress time in our heads. But the past is way closer and way stranger than we think. Follow for more history facts that will completely change how you see the world. Vikings never wore horned helmets. That image you're picturing right now, it's completely wrong. For centuries, Vikings have been shown wearing giant helmets with horns sticking out, but not a single real Viking helmet with horns has ever been found. Think about it. Horns would be terrible in battle. They'd get grabbed, knocked off, or make your head an easy target. Real Viking helmets were simple, round, and practical, built for fighting, not fashion. So where did the horns come from? Hundreds of years later. In the 1800s, artists and opera designers wanted Vikings to look more dramatic on stage. They added horns to make them look wild and intimidating. And that fake image stuck. Movies, cartoons, and pop culture turned it into history. But real Vikings, no horns. Napoleon wasn't actually short. That's one of the biggest myths in history. Most people picture Napoleon as a tiny man with a big ego. But that image came from propaganda, not facts. Napoleon Bonaparte was around 5'6" to 5'7" inches tall. That was average height for a man in early 1800s Europe. So where did the short idea come from? First, British cartoonists mocked him to make him look weak and ridiculous. Second, France and Britain used different measurement systems, which made his height seem smaller when translated incorrectly. And finally, Napoleon was often surrounded by tall elite guards, which made him look shorter by comparison. But in reality, Napoleon wasn't short at all. History just shrunk him. The Wild West wasn't actually wild. That version you picture, constant gunfights, outlaws everywhere, that mostly came from movies. In reality, most frontier towns were quiet, boring, and heavily controlled. Gunfights were rare. Seeing one was newsworthy, not normal. Many Wild West towns actually had strict gun laws. You had to turn in your weapons when entering town. Sheriffs wanted order, not chaos. Most people worked normal jobs, shopkeepers, farmers, railroad workers, just trying to survive. So where did the wild image come from? Cheap novels, exaggerated newspapers, and later Hollywood movies turned rare events into everyday life. The real Wild West wasn't non-stop violence. It was long days, hard work, and rules meant to keep people alive.